All right. Sorry. So, welcome, welcome. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, I'm going to do a really quick reading for for the collective whole. This reading is really to help us kind of understand some of the changes that are happening. Okay. So this is for everybody. Doesn't matter what your sign is. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let me just pull cards really quick. All right. Let's see. Okay. mm-hmm. Oh, darn it. It fell. All right. I'm just going to make this I'm going to try and make this a quick read. So let's see. Interesting. So, with all the things that are going on in the world, and I'm going to be very, very honest, I don't really know what's going on in the world at this point. I'm unplugged from social media pretty much. I just go on to make my posts, I just come live, and that's that. I don't browse around, I don't look at stuff. So, I don't really know what's going on with the world. And I am so fucking peaceful. But it seems as though there is stuff going on. And um, I'm wondering if the things that are going on are things that all of you are aware of, or if it's something that maybe you're not aware of. Maybe it's stuff that's going on in the background, and it's time for us to become aware of some of the potentialities and how those potentialities will affect us, or maybe not even knowing what the potentialities are, but instead understanding how the shifts are occurring and affecting our journey. Okay, so let us see. All right. So right off the bat, I sense a shift in the way all of us are seeing the world. All of us are seeing our lives. And this shift is not necessarily so that we all see things the same way. Okay. We're not all going to be on the same page still. We're not all going to agree still. That was never really part of the plan. The shift is helping you to see much deeper into your life, much deeper into how your decisions have affected your path, how your path is basically it's splitting. That's what I'm seeing right now, a split in the path. And that split, the concept of right and wrong is just so wrong. There is no right, there is no wrong, there just is. Okay. There are decisions you will make that will take you down a path that will provide you with additional struggle. And that additional struggle, if allowed to, will help further build character. Now, there's another path that you can take with less struggle. This path of less struggle involves way more trust, a willingness to take that leap of faith just because your soul told you, hey, it's time to jump. Okay. Both will lead to your growth. Both. Even the hardships in life are to be appreciated. Okay. These hardships are very difficult for us to appreciate. And usually, given enough time, if we allow enough time to pass, then we begin to understand, that really grew me. And so, this is all about processing and allowing yourself to grow. So, ooh, okay. We have awareness. It's like the fire has been lit for those of us who have kind of dwindled in our beliefs in ourselves, our beliefs in others, um, our ability to trust the world, our ability to feel safe in the world. That's been dwindling quite a bit. And that's because space is being created for awareness. Rise in your awareness, okay? We're being guided to really enter a high priestess of spirit phase where we can just be present in life, be present in the things that we are experiencing instead of, um, going through a struggle and you're not really there, like the struggle is affecting you. And because of that, you're now focusing on future projects, focusing on things you couldn't change anymore because it's in the past. You have to be fully present. Without being fully present, you're not going to learn what that lesson is teaching you. Okay. Michael says it's the equivalent of you being sat down and taking a test for chapter 8 of your whatever class you're taking. And while you're at that test, instead of taking the test, you are reviewing chapter 2, which has nothing to do with chapter 8. Yes, it's all part of one book, but are you actually present? Okay. So, card number 9, honor yourself. Honor your process, honor your shadow, honor the murky waters that some of us exist within. Just honor all of it. Honor your struggle too. Okay. Just honor it. Honor all of it. Card number 17, what is already with you? All of the answers, all of the solutions, it's already there. You cannot uncover the answer until you reach a point where you ask the question. Because until you ask the question, is it really an answer? Until you're faced with a problem, is it really the solution? Or is it another mundane thing that just goes in one ear and out the other? And that's something many of us don't realize. The path that we take to get to that point, um, we tend to not appreciate it. We tend to be so tired of that path that we're failing to realize this is the very thing that's taking us, leading us to the next level of existence. All right. Okay. Card number 21. Beyond the mind, the heart beats. There's so much stuff left unsaid. Things that you refuse to say to yourself. Truths that are necessary for you to become aware of so that you can begin really stepping into the light of your truth. Okay. We're not doing that um, on a regular enough basis. There might be times where we experience um, very chaotic thoughts, very chaotic energies. And sometimes that will take us there where we appreciate it. But for the most part, we have a tendency to just be over it. Just like, I'm over it. I'm guilty of this too. Okay. Where I'm over it. I don't want to deal with it. Do what you will. And you guys have heard me say that to Michael quite a few times. I'm over it. Do what you will. Go ahead. Drag me. I don't care. Yeah. Everything in perfect balance. You're allowed to have those moments. You weren't born to constantly be like, life is good. It's amazing. I will find the ends. I mean, come on, you guys. That's bullshit. That's total bullshit. That's fakery. It's fuckery. It's oftentimes something that ends up leading to self sabotage. It's okay for you to be like, you know what? I'm currently so over this shit. All of this is bullshit. I'm so sick of this. And then get over it. Get over the feeling of being over it and keep moving. Okay. But you definitely deserve to have that moment here and there where you feel like you just can't go any further. Card number 2, friendliness. It's time for you to become a little bit more friendly with yourself. When you have a friend who's always strong, who never complains, who's always, your rock and they have a bad day, are you totally like, "Oh god, you're such a bitch. Fucking get over yourself." No, you're not. You're like, "Oh, what's wrong? Oh my gosh, you never complain. What's happening?" Why can't you be a little bit more friendly with yourself like that? Why is that? Why is that? You should be your own best friend. It's nice to have best friends outside of yourself, but you should be counted among that small circle of friends. Okay. Oh, card number 4. High Priestess of Water. You're needing to begin the process of mastering your flow. You're mastering spirit and mastering flow. The process of mastering spirit requires you to first master your flow. So, what if this might be a message that we're a little bit backwards in this, where we're trying to jump to a state that we feel we should be at, failing to accept that we first need to go through number 4, you know? So, hmm, it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. Hmm. I see spirit kind of as like vapor, um, kind of like the steam that just dissipates and becomes a nothingness. That's how I visualize spirit. What if, in order to get to this elevated phase where your energy is so excited that it becomes like a steam, we had to first experience the heat of the struggles of life? What if you have to allow yourself to have permission to really just feel elevated emotions? Instead of being irritated with the world, what if we really just get angry at this point? And not that uncontrolled, misdirected anger. We're not just angry just to be angry. What if we're angry about specific things? Angry enough to change these specific things? What if we're so angry we become quiet and still and examine what type of conversations we're having? Having with people outside of us, having with ourselves quietly inside. What if there's a lot of um, examination needing to take place? Something needs to change. Something's about to change. Ooh, interesting. Very interesting. So, card number 2, inner trust. Do you trust yourself? And if you're one of those people who consistently makes poor life choices, selects the worst option, who fails, who consistently um, fucks it all up, you've been given the blueprint of your life. You've been given so many different ways in which to not do things. Why do you keep selecting the same thing? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't think you're a failure. I think you got so caught up in your lessons that you began to identify as the lesson. So now it's time to free yourself. Card number 13, liberation, free yourself. What if the very thing that's keeping you enslaved is not necessarily governments and, you know, hold on, that hurt. What if it's not governments? What if the government stuff is nothing more than external symptomatic presentation of internal toxicity? What if the real problem is our desire to externalize our authority, hand it off to someone else so we don't have to take ownership of the ways in which we don't listen to ourselves? How about that? How about this perception that this thing that we perceive to be so white and pure is really the very thing that's pecking at our face? You always have a choice. You always, 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 always have a choice. You can't sit there and make me try and believe that somehow you didn't have a choice. Not all your choices are going to be what you want. Not all your choices are going to be what you think you need, but you always, always, always have a choice. And your perception of what those choices are heavily, heavily connected to your sense of obligation. Is your sense of obligation to yourself, to your family, to your community, to your country, to your organization, to your job? What are you obligated to do in this life? Who are you most loyal to? That's what's going to determine what you perceive to be your choices or lack thereof. Movement is necessary. If you feel stuck, that is your soul telling you it's time to move. I don't know if you guys can hear the wind. It's getting loud. Movement is necessary though. You have to keep moving. You have to keep allowing yourself to burn up that excess energy. We are currently existing on a plane that is accreting so much frequency. We are accreting so much frequency, pulling it into our bodies, and most of us have no idea this is going on. This is causing so much turmoil. It's shifting the way we connect with people. It's shifting the connections that are already exist. It's shifting what we feel we should be doing in life, how we should be living, how we should be living with other people. And yet we have no idea this is going on. Why is that? Because we are so busy allowing ourselves to be distracted by things that, in the grand scheme of things, are inconsequential. It's inconsequential. It really, really is. We've totally been programmed to participate in program in a system that keeps us so enslaved just to fit in. You're not even going to be exalted by this, okay? You're not going to be raised and seen as more than anyone else. This is to simply exist. We've created debt for our existence. Why is that? Because of our obligations. Where do your obligations rest? Okay. Right now, we need guidance. Card number 3, guidance. Your soul is allowing you to be guided to something much more than what you probably have the ability to understand right now. And it's not for a lack of intelligence, it's not for a lack of ability, it's for lack of energy. We're existing on a plane, again, accreting so much frequency. We don't know what to do with it. We don't even know what's going on. Most of us don't realize we are pulling in so much frequency at any given time, each individual. What do you do with that? Do you hold on to it? Do you let it go? Do you use it to build an empire? Do you use it to call money to you? Do you use it to call a specific individual to you? What do you use it for? The best way to use that energy is by simply using it to heal yourself. That was never an option, huh? That's not an option. I have too many bills. I have to do this. I have to do that. No, what I have to do in this life is heal the wounds that were inflicted by this life. And once I do that, I can do everything else. I can absolutely do everything else. I have no more sense of undue obligation. And that's a lot of the things that we don't understand because, again, we're so distracted. Let's pull one final card. No, I don't want to. I'm going to pull one final card. All right. Reunification. An internal reunification is imminent. So 8 is a number of reunification. If you look at the number 8, so the card is cosmic card. If you look at the number 8, it's 2 circles stacked. If you turn it on its side, it's the symbol of infinity. Ooh, 88. If you turn it on its side, it's a symbol of infinity. If you really allow yourself to look at it, what is that? 2 separate consciousness coming together for all of infinity. Sharing, equally taking as much as they're giving. It's a beautiful exchange, a beautiful communion of consciousness. And here's the thing, this beautiful communion of consciousness is not about twin flame stuff. It's about the masculine and the feminine within you seeking balance for all of eternity. allowing one to give while the other receives. And then there's a switch in roles where the other that was receiving is now giving, and the one that was giving is now receiving. This is what's going on inside of you. This is evident in your heart. You have a left and a right ventricle. As it pulls in energy, sends out energy. As it sends out energy, it cycles back around and pulls in more energy. What is blood but liquid energy? This is nothing more than your magic densified into plasma. We're all magical beings, and not magical like David Copperfield, Chris Angel. It's not a show. This is a reality, and you have to make sure you understand where your reality is taking you. All right. Cosmic heart. I was dead, I became alive. I was tears, I became laughter. The power of love arrived and made me everlasting power. I have seen everything, I have no fear. I have the heart of a lion. I shine like Venus. What is that? Heart of a lion. If you guys know what that means, if you have any messages regarding that term, heart of a lion, that's been popping up all day today. Don't know what it means. I hear it and weep. In sublime reverence, I bow to this living, beating, loving heart of the universe. It echoes throughout all of creation. Once, some time ago, I was deaf. I had not heard one true sound, much noise, but no truth. So I believed in many things not worth believing in. Then, in a moment of my crisis that cracked my heart open, I was given a gift. Though I felt fear and confusion, a gift came to me more powerful than those temporary ailments. That gift was the ability to hear the sound hidden beneath all of life. I heard it, that sacred sound of the beating heart of universal love. Now I know that belief in unworthy things like fear and doubt is lunacy. Even my loneliness became unconvincing to me. We are animated by this living heartbeat, part of life that is sustained by it. You and I, the planets, the birds, and the fishes, emerge from the great source because of this beating heart of the universe. It pumps life through our veins. What proof of this is needed? You live. That is the proof. I hear it everywhere now. It's become so loud, louder than any word of fear. It resonates through my soul and eclipses any tremor of anxiety. There's a time on the journey of love when the beloved, that would be you and me, is prepared to engage more completely with the heart of the divine lover. The preparation will be a rich process, spiritually speaking. It may also feel like being beaten, pummeled, and simmered, stirred in the pot of the divine master chef to become a sacred and savory meal fit for the most heavenly of feasts. This is a courageous and bold process, one that will create the most delicious aromas in the soul, and yet it is one that will likely take us right to the places we would rather avoid, places of confrontation with pain, but where the loss of its grip on our being no longer lets us quake and retreat from life in fear or uncertainty. Don't be afraid of your pain. Don't be afraid of the heat you experience as your sacred fire reignites. Life is getting difficult. It's because you're being prepared to move forward. The more you fight your process, the more you fight your growth. I don't know about you. When I was little, I used to shove my feet in this pair of shoes. I love those shoes. They were gray high top Reeboks. I was in kindergarten and my foot had outgrown it, but I love those shoes. Never did I think that another pair could be gotten for me. The same color, the same fit, but just in my size. So I kept wearing them and I told nobody until one day I hurt my foot. My toes were like this. They were scrunched in there. And my feet have never been the same since. Okay? It really messed me up. That was years ago. And now I've learned fighting my own growth will have lasting effects on me. It will have lasting effects. I can grow through it, I can heal it, but I will never forget it. And if you're like me, so difficult to forgive yourself for any infraction. Anything you perceive as a shortcoming, a flaw, a failure, it's best to not even start that. Find out what your needs are and address them. Fulfill those needs before it becomes an issue. Allow yourself to grow as the world changes, because it's in the process of changing. You have to be able to choose to change right along with it, not to continue to participate in the system, but to be part of the ground crew that rebuilds a new system. Just saying. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me every single time I'm live. I got to get going. Love you guys. Bye.